Welcome back to the Quiet on Set podcast, a weekly show about film and TV, hosted by myself, Ewan Graf, and Lachlan Seeley. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello.
Hi.
That's all I'm saying this week. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no intro, no
I've
quick
realized
banter.
I went back and listened,
Mhm.
and I kept being like, "Hello, thank you for having me back." Because I realized I don't really have an opening. You have an opening.
I do
You
have an
the,
opening.
Hi, welcome to the Quiet on Set. I don't have anything in the show notes. What do I
Listen,
What do I say?
I promise you, we'll come up with a bunch of alternative openings, and maybe for episode 100, which is still, by the way, in the works. We got a lot of stuff in the works for episode 100. You should.
We do one word each.
Imagine. Oh my god, that was a bit.
Ready? I'll start us off. Welcome
To
the
podcast.
Did you miss Quiet on Set?
No, I just don't want to name drop because if this ever gets clipped, I don't want it to be associated with our name.
The
Film.
Dude, you okay?
I
was literally reading.
Oh,
from the
you
show
wanted
notes
to
make it easier
Okay,
for you.
well, I thought we were just
No. Hey,
No
just
creativity
means we're
here.
not on the
Okay.
same wavelength.
Right, I got you. Well,
Fuck, that cricket is really loud. By the way, I've discovered there's a cricket living in the ceiling,
yeah.
and there's no way I'm getting up there to spray him with any bug spray. So if he starts going off, he's just an honorary member of this fucking podcast at this point.
Anyways, I think something that I think we talked about it off air, but I thought it was just really interesting that Lachlan, you got a new car.
I bought a new car.
Can I say this? What you told me?
No money included. What did I tell
Well,
you?
you said
I'm
that
concerned. I say a lot of things I don't really want on air.
well, we can scrap this if you don't want it out there, but you basically told me because we took a week off, you instead of going to like record on Wednesday, you just bought a car. That was basically what he said.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So the dealerships here, they're all open late night on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Where typically late night shopping is Thursday. They do it on a Wednesday. So our recording sessions are Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do it Wednesday day for me, but typically it's a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of recording the podcast, we ended up canning that episode. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go look at cars because I want to go see what is available. And I saw a particular car online that we went to go have a look at, and then walked past this car that I think probably has just come in because it wasn't online.
Yeah.
And same price and everything. I just fell in love with it, so I just bought her instead. Or him. I haven't given it a name yet, so.
It's a big truck though.
It's really hard to think of a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Mitsubishi Triton, for those who want to know.
Yeah, we'll pull up a picture right now. There you go.
You call it a truck?
I don't know.
Call it a
I
truck?
was talking about it with a friend because we were like, I told her the story, and she was like, yeah, it would be crazy if someone in Switzerland, like about your age, was, yeah, I just got a truck. And I guess it makes sense because you're in Australia, but it would make
but
no
you call it
sense.
a truck, right?
I would say it's a four-wheeler pickup. Yeah, something like that, right?
Man, I don't call it a truck.
Well, a truck is it's a four-wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But like that style of car, right?
Yeah.
What would you call it? I'm curious to know.
I'd call it a truck probably.
A truck?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Interesting.
It's a small one. It's not a big one, but
Does the word ute mean anything to you?
I mean, yeah, I was in Australia for a year, so yes, it does mean something to me.
Yeah.
I just don't. I would not use it. I think it's not like a globally used term. It's definitely more Aussie, right?
That's what I was curious about because you said truck, and I was like, I wouldn't consider this a truck, but you kept calling it a truck,
Well,
and I was like, oh, maybe you consider it a truck.
yeah, I wasn't I guess assimilating to Australian culture that much because I don't know. I always said gas station and never said petrol station and stuff like that. But
and that annoyed me. That really fucking annoyed me.
Because yeah, I remember having like he was like, why do you call it gas station? You're not American. I was like, yeah, I guess I could just use the one that's like used locally, but
petroleum,
no,
dude.
Petroleum, yeah. It's not gasoline.
Petrol station. It makes so much sense.
We're already getting super sidetracked.
You don't go to a gas station
by the way,
and get gas. You get petroleum.
Yeah. Can I get into?
No, I don't anymore because I got a diesel.
Right. Okay. Well, then you're completely off it. I personally don't even have a car, let alone a 4x4.
That's why I bought a car for both of us.
Yeah, bringing it over for me.
You were co-signed.
You're bringing out, dude. I'd love that if I was like your security contact. It's like 3 a.m, and you're like, yeah, no, it's just had an accident. It's like, I don't know what to do.
I'll be right there.
I'll be right.
I'll be right there. Okay, how far away are you? About 27 hours.
Yeah. I'll get that. I
Yeah,
would
that's
come.
if there's no delays.
You know? Rest assured, I would come.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff coming up in today's show. We're talking about the.
Fuck! I realized I didn't clean my room.
Oh.
Holy fuck! It's super messy.
No,
Everyone
well,
ignore
the thing
that.
is, I pushed back for those of you video watchers, listeners. I pushed back my cam a bit because I thought I was like too close to the cam. You can also see way more of my background, so I had to like squish stuff to the side as well. But Lachlan, while I go over what we're doing today, I'll cut away from you, you know, and you can clean up your room if you really want to. Oh, he's just putting products to flex on us.
That's just a flex.
Yeah. Anyways, car owner. On today's show, we are talking about the gun lineup. We also got some news on interesting Minecraft casting. We also have the first trailer of Thor: Love and Thunder. And then I was able to sit down with director Gasper Noé to talk about his new film, VORTEX. We'll have an excerpt of that interview featured on the show. If you want the full interview, it will be out on the Ewan and Graf podcast. And finally, we'll also have some short reviews for the Northman and the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And then Lachlan and I both were able to catch up with the new A24 horror film X, and we have a spoiler review at the end of today's show for you on that. But if you want to skip around to anything specific that interests you, there are time codes as always linked below. And if you want to support us, you can do that on Patreon for just as little as $1 a month. You become a PA and you get access to a bunch of bonus content. For example, the show notes that I'm reading off right now. This is all a matrix. It's all pre-written. Nothing is improvised. Everything is on here. Trust me. The secrets to... But also the monthly bonus show, the Drunkcast, is up there. But you can also do the same thing on Spotify and subscribe on there if you just want the Drunkcast. And finally, so to wrap up the shilling, make sure to leave us a rating, preferably 5 stars, please, over on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It helps us grow the show a ton. So without further ado, let's have a look at the news. So first up, I wanted to have a quick look at the gun lineup. So far, we got, if I remember correctly, 37 films announced. There's going to be a bunch more further. I think it's about half of what we are getting right now. And I'm lucky enough to be going this year, so we'll have a bit of coverage from Gun. But if you have a look, Lachlan, at the list of highlights that I put out there, I think for me personally, I'm really looking forward to the new Koreeda film, Broker. Song Kang-ho, who was also in Parasite, will be in the new Koreeda film, and I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. And there's a new David Cronenberg film, a new film from George Miller called 3000 Years of Longing, and a new Park Chan-wook film called Decision to Leave. So for me, quite a stacked lineup. I'm keen to check out the films from all of these directors. Looking at the list, is there anything in particular that stands out to you? Oh, you're just a huge Elvis fan, so you're looking forward to that Buzz Luhrmann.
Well, I'm quickly trying to read the like what they're about as quickly as I can.
Sorry, as always, I'm giving him no preparation time. I just throw him in this room and then he's...
Things go badly for a small crew shooting a low-budget zombie movie when they're attacked by real zombies.
Yeah.
Isn't that just that one movie that came out?
One Cut of the Dead. It is a French remake from the director of The Artist, and it's called...
It's a French remake?
Yeah. It's it premiered at Sundance as well, I think.
Like it's properly a remake.
It is a remake.
Like they said,
yeah.
Like this is... Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, okay.
It is.
And who's directing it?
The guy who did The Artist. That black and white kind of silent movie from 2012.
All right, interesting.
Yeah,
I can't really see anything that's super. Is that Woody Harrelson? Triangle of Sadness. When a yacht sinks, a
I
luxury
think so.
cruise, a celebrity couple is left stranded on a desert island with a bunch of billionaires clean up lady. Yep, that sounds great. Triangle of Sadness. Sign me up.
Yeah, we have a full list to all the films announced on Gun. Link below if you are interested. And yeah, we'll have coverage, I guess, in about a month when the festival starts, so it's not that far off. All right, Lachlan, do you want to move on to the next bit of news, which is very exciting for anyone below the age of 30, because ooh, we are getting a legend to play another legend. We are getting Jason to play Steve in Minecraft, the Minecraft live action version. I think people were shivering in fear because they didn't know, is Chris Pratt going to get yet another voice cast role where he gets to play Steve? But no, we are
Wait, so
getting a
Jason
Rio Man,
Momoa's voice
an
acting?
Aquaman. No, he's playing, I guess, the lead character in Minecraft in a live action version. So he's not even voice casting. He's just.
What do you mean like? You mean like actually like
Don't,
live
Lachlan,
action?
don't ask questions, okay? Just be grateful. We are getting a live
But
action
wait.
Minecraft
As
film.
in, but
What's
live action as in
yeah,
live action,
live
or as in
action?
live action like Sonic, where Sonic is
Oh,
CGI.
Well, it would be funny if like everything in the universe is just like not pixelated, but it's just Jason Momoa who's like Steve. You know, that would be kind of funny.
So he's playing Steve.
I don't know who he's playing. He could be playing the Ender Dragon for all of I know. I don't know. So many open possibilities for creativity. And can't wait. When you said live action, I was less thinking about Sonic because like that's human world, but character in that it makes less sense for Minecraft. I think something more akin to it would be Lion King, where like it's live action, but it's technically everything is like.
When did Warner Brothers buy the rights to Microsoft movie? Sorry, to Microsoft movie. When did they get the rights to make a Minecraft
That is
movie?
a good question. I don't even know. Um, weird. I don't.
The dude who directed Napoleon Dynamite is the one who's gonna. Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I just think this is kind of funny. And yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be entertaining regardless. If it's shit, it's gonna be fun. If it's not, it can't be worse than Morbius. You know, I've been
I can't
scarred. Yeah,
wait. This
this is fun, right?
it was obviously it's gonna be better than Morbius for sure.
Yeah. Uh, but it's also not Sony, so they won't spoil everything. With like the first trailer of what they're going to do. So
Do you reckon this is that movie that The Rock was talking about when he was like, "We're bringing a massive game to life,
hmm,
to movies, I should say."
maybe he could.
I'd love to see this.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
wait.
This sounds
I'm
super fun.
picturing almost every single way that they could do this,
Yeah.
and every single way is exciting. To me.
Yeah,
Whether
agreed.
he's square, whether he's not square, whether the world's pixelated or not pixelated.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what kind of story they pull out of Minecraft.
Yeah. So we are keen. I think just because they just started casting, this is gonna take a while. I think earliest we're gonna see anything from this is in 2023. But yeah.
Fuck, I could die by then. If I die before the Minecraft movie comes
No,
out,
you are safe.
I'll be super
You're a car
disappointed.
owner now. You have responsibilities. Drive safe. Don't die, please. You know what might die by 2023? Not really, but I guess that's a segue. Netflix, because they are reporting a 200,000 subscriber loss in Q1 of 2022, and are expected to lose another 2 million in Q2. So, you know, earlier yesterday, the stock plummeted by 25%. Such a huge drop for such a big company. Just like collapsed. Like those not crypto bros.
I should have invested.
You should have invested so you could lose, or what?
Fuck.
What that's what? Now you gotta buy the dip, you know. But no, it's
I gotta buy it when it dips, baby.
in Q2 when there's another 2 million losing, it's gonna dip even further down. It would surprise me if anything else happens. So probably don't buy it. But again, this is not advice. you're all adults listening to this. You can make your own choices. But they came out with a bunch of statements, basically saying like, oh yeah, this is why this is happening. Like in 2020, they had a huge increase due to the pandemic of people signing up. Right, they had the biggest numbers ever, and they thought that it was just like kind of continue and they would grow. But it doesn't make sense if people go outside. Again, they don't really need that indoor entertainment 24/7, and not everyone's dependent on it. So that was the reason they said like, oh, our numbers are down. But like my opinion, probably just like the content is not worth staying on. A lot of the time, and another reason for them was password sharing, and they also said that because of the Ukraine conflict and them like pulling out of Russia, that lost them approximately 700K of subscribers. So that's quite a big chunk of people who subscribe to the service overall, and I guess it kind of would, explain why in Q1 they're losing 200,000. What's is surprising to me is that they have an estimate of losing another 2 million in quarter 2, and I don't know why. Because they got Stranger
Because
Things
they
coming
plan on
out.
saying something stupid.
They're like, yeah, no, I don't know what they could do to lose that many subscribers. It's weird. Why in Q2 so many people would
They might
leave?
do a J.K. Rowling moment.
Yeah. They might be.
Netflix is gonna. They just know that they have a J.K. Rowling moment coming up, and they're gonna lose a whole fan base.
They're gonna do an Elon move and just create their own Twitter and just spout like terrible messages, horribly offensive, to just plummet their stock. But they also announced that there's
Or they know that or they know that Adam Sandler's gonna release another movie.
hey, there's like a good movie coming to Netflix, or a seemingly good movie where he's not just like doing a lazy
Oh, the
comedy.
basketball one.
The basketball one, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks quite good. But they did also announce that they are looking into doing a possible lower tier, cheaper version of Netflix. That is or the cheaper tier of Netflix where you also get ads. So that would be something new. The platform has so far been completely ad free. So we'll see where this goes, and yeah, we'll keep you posted. Um, Anyways, let's look at something quite exciting coming from the MCU. The new trailer, the first trailer, for Love, Thor and Thunder, which is also like not that far out. It's crazy how late they started showing trailers for this film. But Lachlan, what did you make of this first look for free?
Very, very fun.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi is a fun director. So I personally like. I'm always a bit mixed with Thor, where I like Thor as a character, but I don't necessarily think I like him overall as a like the MCU Thor. I wish he
Right.
was a bit more powerful. I don't like the kind of piss take version, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I do enjoy Taika Waititi's take on a character, and he's just been given Thor. So I feel like he could have done a crazy dumb take on any of these characters, but I feel like the fact that it's a god just adds that extra bit of juxtaposition to the stupidness that he brings to the film. So
Yeah.
I do enjoy Ragnarok. I'll admit
Mhm.
that. There's parts I don't like. I do think it's kind of a bit more of a very like a moment thing than a whole kind of story thing. But this kind of seems to be the opposite. Hopefully this is a bit more of a story, because Ragnarok was just like, we're on this planet now, we're on this planet now, we're here now,
Mhm.
we're here. There wasn't really like an overall story. It was kind of mixed, and Hela was kind of boring. So it look, I'm kind of excited to see this because we haven't seen the God Hunter Gore, the God Hunter, I think it is, or something like
Yeah,
that.
Christian Bale. Mhm.
And it kind of seems like there is these parts where we are going to be going to these new locations, but it seems to be kind of this again a fun take on Thor. So
Yeah.
hopefully it will be a fun movie, because obviously you've got people like Russell Crowe playing Zeus.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. And I think something that you haven't mentioned yet is as Natalie Portman at the end of the trailer, a first look at, I guess, Lady 4 is what they're teasing, or the story that they're doing. Um and if Zeus is involved, they probably are going to Olympus. That might be a destination that we go to. If I like, the general vibe that I got is that we start out with the Guardians, and then they go off to their own thing, and that turns into, I guess, like the third Guardians film. They just go off and do their own thing. Or we start the movie out with them, and then in the middle part, hopefully they focus a bit more on story, because like, they emphasize in this trailer about like the theme of love, and that Thor is a super lonely character. Like everyone he likes is either far away or dead. So he might the reconnection with Natalie Portman and that kind of storyline coming in could be an interesting one. That also kind of concludes his arc in the MCU overall. And I think like seeing with like how Logan did it, how they ended the storyline for Captain America and Iron Man in Endgame. These closing chapters for a character can obviously, because you're looking back on it and it's like, ooh, cool, this character did all of that and now he's closing it. It's always packed with emotions, but there's also a cool story that you can unpack in there when someone's kind of arriving at the end. And not that they're killing off Thor, it's not what I'm saying at all, but maybe they're giving him a more passive role overall. So I'm looking forward to it, because I think Taika has its way, especially like I watched Aflac Means Death, right? And just the whole like homoerotic undertones that a lot of his stuff has. It's just like that type of stuff. He nails that type of like fruity type of comedy. And I think it works really well with the Guardians together, with kind of James Gunn's approach to comedy. So yeah, I think this is just gonna be a fun one, colorful, and looking forward to it. Coming out in June, July, soon. Coming soon to your theater. Speaking of things coming to the theater soon, let's have a look at the new releases of the week. First up, over the weekend, we got The Batman over on HBO Max, and you can count on me rewatching that in 4K at home as soon as possible. Well, I guess I could have already done it if it was as soon as. I'm gonna watch it soon, okay? And I'm looking forward to rewatching that film. There's also the second season of Russian Doll over on Netflix with Natasha Lyonne. I haven't had a chance to binge through the series yet. It just came out earlier today. Also out this Friday on April 22nd is Marvelous and the Black Hole, as well as The Bad Guys, an animated film with animals. So that's always a great combo. By the way, it's crazy. Like Sing 2 has been doing so much money, although that movie came out like felt like it came out in 2019, but
yonks ago.
yeah, it's just had like really steady legs and has grown so much money. So it's that gets me off on a whole tantrum about like Pixar not releasing it in theaters. It's just so stupid. People go back, especially with young kids, to the theaters. Ugh, you're missing out, Disney. Anyways, The Northman, new Robert Eggers film, totally 180 from Pixar. Yeah, it is out in wide release, as well as The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the new Nick Cage film. Then we also got the new Céline Sciamma film, Petite Maman. She's the director of Portrait of a Lady on Fire, so definitely give that a watch. That is out in limited release. It's a really short watch. I think it's like 72 minutes. Really short, small, and emotional, powerful story. I really loved that one, so give it a watch. And We're All Going to the World's Fair was a indie film, really small film out of Sundance that had an interesting premise of a girl kind of documenting a teenage girl documenting a lot of the stuff that she does, and yeah, quite an interesting film to go check out in limited release. And then we got the third season of Barry. Lachlan, I know you've been catching up with the series, so do you think by the time season 3 rolls around, you're ready to jump into it, or like, yeah, no, taking you a bit longer to get there?
Man, I have so many things I'm trying to catch up on. Just you wait till we get the what you've been watching
Oh, I'm
section.
jealous because I know one thing you watched this weekend that I didn't watch and I would have liked to watch.
Haha.
But Barry season 3, great
Better.
show over on HBO Max. And yeah, before we jump into what we've been watching, I'll play you a short little clip from my interview with Gasper Noé. And yeah, go give Vortex a watch. It's out in Swiss theaters now, and next week in US, and I think more internationally. So give that a watch. First up, I think your film tackles something that in cinema is kind of underrepresented, like showing dementia on screen. So How did you go about putting that on screen?
In my case, it wasn't too difficult to portray it because I had seen my grandmother and my mother with dementia. It's true that it's underrepresented in commercial cinema compared to how huge the dementia is in real life.
Yeah.
There are cases of dementia in almost every single family.
Yeah.
And since I'm showing this movie, many film critics disappear at the end of or friends who attend the screening disappear at the end of the screening, and then 2 days later or 3 days later, I get a phone call. Yeah, I couldn't talk to you because your movie is the story of my life. I'm going exactly through this with my dad or with my mom, and or my stepfather that I'm taking care of. And the weird thing is that most people hide that part of their own lives as it was a personal cross they shouldn't share.
Let's get to what we've been watching. So, Lachlan, you've teased us already that you saw a bunch of stuff, so I'll give you the floor. What have you been watching?
Oh, thank you for the floor.
Yeah, the whole floor.
I'll start off with something I've been trying to catch up on, and I started The Sinner a while ago, so I'm still making my way through that. I watched a couple. I'm basically at the end of season 1, so I'm almost there at the end of season 1. But man, this like TV show drags a little bit, so kind of a bit mixed on it overall. Kind of lost interest in it, if I'm totally honest. But moving on. Started 2 new series. Archive 81, which I got told about. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been a pretty slapping show.
Yeah.
Pretty spooky, pretty scary. At some points, I've even been like, I'm going to take my headphones off and listen to this on speakers, not on headphones. I'm too scared.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. It also gets a bit cringe here and there as well. So
I think that show is also
so far, I'm actually canned.
Canned, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, which is good because at least I know that I'm finishing something instead of just the most of these, which I don't think any of the other ones have been cancelled just yet.
Yeah.
The other show that I watched was Out of Range on Prime.
Yeah.
The new Josh Brolin Amazon show. Did you see that?
I also caught the first 2 episodes of that show.
Yeah.
It's intriguing.
Do you want to on the count of 3 say yes or nay?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Except that
you
weird
didn't
part
commit
at the
to
end
it.
of episode 2.
There was yeah, I'd agree.
I hated the tint. I hated the tint on it.
Yeah.
The color.
Yeah.
It just
didn't like the look.
Turned me off. I was like,
No.
this is weird. I don't like it.
It
looks dumb.
It's very reminiscent of other shows that had a similar premise, kind of overdoing it and not really knowing how to go about the look.
Yep.
It doesn't feel like.
Yep.
I think overall, I think the show is not confident enough in its premise. It does feel like it wants those Yellowstone type of like, I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, we talked about that show before, right? It's just like a bunch of people just die, more in Game of Thrones, and it's set in the rural part of the US. But I think it has like that type of energy. And I think it should commit more to just being about the crazy stuff that it wants to be. But maybe that's coming. We have just seen the first 2 episodes so far. Josh Brolin is amazing. He's great. And like,
he's so
I had a
good.
couple of moments where I thought like, oh, the show is okay. I get what you're doing, but then he completely like sucked me back in with his performance. Which is already so layered. Just 2 episodes in, I feel like there's so many layers to unpack. So I'll definitely be keeping up with that show.
I watched 5 seconds of Moon Knight.
On episode 4.
I haven't watched Moon Knight yet.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Moon Knight yet.
I mean, it's what a lot of people have been saying, that like by episode 4, the show really becomes something else a bit, like with the direction it goes.
Oh, what?
It does kind of.
Oh no!
It does something interesting that really throws you for a loop.
The way you're staring up into the ceiling is like giving me some concern here, bro.
I'm just looking at my alter ego. His name is Ferdinand, and he's saying I shouldn't reveal too much. He's in my ear.
What, did he get assassinated and cause the start of World War
That's
1?
yeah.
Or 2?
He's been around for so long here.
Yeah, wow,
it's such a pain to be an archduke these days. Like everyone hates aristocrats, so you know. But my last name is Graf, which basically means Duke. So it's kind of weird that you didn't get that
Wow.
earlier. It's 1-1, just a bit of German for you. But anyways,
Sorry,
you peasant,
'cause
you
I'm so
peasant wouldn't
fluent
get
in
it.
so
Sorry,
many
Ferdinand, get out of
languages,
here. Get out of
I
here.
just forget.
Yeah. Anyways,
What can I
the
say?
show is interesting. Still, I think it has like it throws you into something, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I
Mm.
like this yet. I kind of have to see more.
Mm.
So I'm definitely keen
Yeah.
to for the show to wrap up and see if I actually like where they go with it.
I've got one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it super under wraps because we are going to do an episode on it.
Mm.
But Ewan usually gets to see all the movies before me because
Yeah.
he gets all the press screenings over in Switzerland, and I'm stuck here in Australia without getting any press screenings because it's a bit difficult over here to get it done. Anyway, so I like to flex when I get to see a movie before him. Even though he's seen both The Northman and Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent over me, but who cares? Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Ooh.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
I have given it a rating on Letterboxd. I'm not going to hide my review.
Yeah.
I have got a review up. It is positive.
It is very positive.
Some might say it's positive. Some might say it's very positive.
Yeah.
Some might say it's a perfect score.
Yeah.
And you would be correct because it is a 5 out of 5. But I'm going to go see it again because I need to see it again to break it down.
Yeah.
If I'm going to say that this could be my movie of the year so far, I need to watch it again.
Yeah. I might just double dip as well. I'm seeing it in exactly 1 week from, well, I guess 1 week from now and a couple of hours I'll be seeing it.
Okay.
And I think I'll probably go see it again if I like it. So yeah.
Unfortunately, I couldn't see it in a big cinema. They're only showing it in the smaller ones because I don't think they're going to think it's. I don't think cinemas in Australia think it's going to be very successful, which is unfortunate because I'd love to see this thing in VMAX or IMAX.
Yeah, and they don't have too much time because by the time
complain.
Doctor Strange rolls around, those screens will be taken up already. It's kind of a pity that they're not doing it with the early rollout. When
it's why I'm trying to see The Northman as soon as I can.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
I
think that's going to be in cinemas for like 2 days, and then all of a sudden Doctor Strange comes out, and it's like you're not going to be able to see this fucking movie ever.
Speaking of The Northman, maybe we can kind of just go over to what I've been watching, and I advise you to go see it on the biggest screen possible. It really is like that type of film.
I was going to watch it on my iPod.
On my iPod Shuffle, man. Ferdinand got this really old, like, those like big TVs that go to the back, like the 4x3. He was gonna watch it on that. He's got it like torrented already. He's ready to go. But no, Lachlan, did you have like any maybe questions about the film, stuff that you were wondering about that maybe I can kind of give my thoughts on already for the film?
I read the IGN article, and they seem to be kind of pissed off that there's not a lot of violence. But I didn't expect there to be a lot of violence.
What did IGN see a different cut from this movie? This movie is like...
Well, I feel like it was IGN.
Right. Well, IGN also gives like mostly 9 out of 10s for all the games they play, even though they're shit. So I don't know. I wouldn't trust IGN. I think they're not the most credible source. But I mean, someone came out of this theater.
Yeah. Okay. No. Here it is. Northman review: a Viking revenge film made of stunning visuals, but not enough flesh and blood.
Right.
Maybe I'm just reading that wrong.
Flesh and blood. I think it's just like there's not a lot of substance, which I would agree with because the story is just very bare bones.
Oh, I'm taking it literally then.
No, IGN is too like artistically in the expression. They have so many.
Right.
It is very bloody and quite brutal and raw, and it's also something that I think Robert Eggers does so well because he doesn't hold back when there's like a character that's flawed. We get that whole character and every other character that is flawed, and like you go to the conclusion of what that does to a character if they have shitty parents or like shitty upbringing or shitty circumstances for like any of the people in the film. that's going to be reflected in the story. You don't sugarcoat this hero story, although it is just a classical hero story on a trip to like revenge his father, save his mother. I'll kill you, Fjolnir. That's kind of what the whole movie is. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to talk about the ending with you. Obviously, not gonna spoil anything here. But just visually, this whole movie is stunning. And especially just the final bit is amazing. So yeah,
Okay.
I think it's my favorite movie of the year so far. Yeah,
Ooh,
I love the
shit.
Northman. A bit more than a lot of other people did, because someone said right after the screening, was like, oh yeah, it's just another Viking revenge story. It's like, well, how many Viking revenge stories have you seen? And it's also just the classical Shakespearean, I guess I guess the predecessor, or like the story that the Shakespearean story is based on, the story of oh yeah, Hamlet.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of the inspiration, or basically the origin story of Hamlet. No, but here it's Amleth, because it's a Nordic story that was adapted by Shakespeare,
Nordic.
and it does have that feeling of being this like really old story that is told, and I loved it. We're probably gonna have a bit more of a discussion once you've seen it as well, later on in 1 or 2 weeks. But yeah, do you have any questions about massive talent and Nick Cage?
How's Nick Cage? I hear he plays a pretty meh character.
Well, he plays himself.
Right.
I don't know. Depends on.
Now, my real question about Unbearable Weight is, how is the supporting cast?
Well, I think Pedro Pascal is very pleasant. There's also Tiffany Haddish is also in there, and I don't really know. I kind of forgot what she does in the film. She doesn't do anything substantial, but it's basically this bro family movie where like he's with his bro Pedro Pascal, and the other bit is his family that he tries to, I guess, reconnect with, and the story is like super meta in the way that it's obviously about his life, right? But I'd say the first half, it is way more about, okay, this is the emotional impact that like this is having, this is my career, uh blah blah blah, and like the actual like real life story of Nick Cage finally being not in debt anymore with this film, right? And he's been in debt for years, and it also kind of tackles that as well. And that part is super interesting, and I wish they would have stuck with it. But then if you've seen the trailers, I'm not spoiling anything here, but it goes more into the action side of things. And I think by just addressing it by its own meta-ness, it takes away from it. It's like the Deadpool effect of like, as long as I mention it, it's kind of deep and it's kind of meta, and it kind of throws away what it's building towards at the start. By the end of it, I think it kind of turns it around a bit. I think I did connect with it. I thought it was quite good. I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5. I think it was a solid, entertaining film. I just thought that it had more, like, a bigger potential, that it didn't completely was able, like, it wasn't able to
But
live
it is
up to that.
entertaining.
It's super entertaining, yeah. Especially if you like Nick
Sweet.
Cage films. There's a lot of like fun
That's
references.
all I care about. I'm happy with that.
But yeah, that's it for that. Vortex, I already shouted out. It's a special type of film because it's like a split screen, kind of emphasizing how like one character has Alzheimer's, dementia, and like how that affects the whole family dynamic. And if you've seen any Gasper Noé film, you know that he gets in there quite raw. But it's maybe his most haunting film, not like by the drug taking, the sex and everything, but just like how devastating that universal illnesses that so many people are affected by. I think it's like this, I think 1 in 3 people above the age of 85 have dementia. So it's a crazy stat. Like everyone and their family members kind of have to deal with at some point in their life, and I think he captured it in quite a haunting way, where it's like up there for me with the father of like coverage or like films about that illness. Yeah. Completely tone shift. I caught The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, and I going in like having only seen the trailers, not really paying attention to reviews or anything. I thought I'm going to hate this because it's like a studio action comedy, and we've gotten a lot of these. They're always just like the same. But I don't know what it was, but I just had a great time with the film. I think Brad Pitt's part is super funny. And yeah, it honestly surprised me. I think it's a super fun movie to go just have you get a bit more than you expect, and I wasn't cringing as much, which is already a plus for a studio comedy. Choose or Die. I talked about it last week. That horror film over on Netflix with the premise of like, and I'm just gonna read you my review from Letterboxd that basically sums up what this movie is quite efficiently. I said I put a bunch of words in capitals, which basically means it's a reference to a movie. So I put I saw The Matrix and Bandersnatch when I played Truth or Dare with people I have since unfriended because they watched the Netflix adaptation of Death Note. That's what this movie is. It's like a clash of a bunch of ideas that are just jumbled together, don't make any sense, and it's a horrible film. I thought that the premise was kind of interesting, but it just fumbles, and whew, it's a bad film. So don't check that one out. And then I caught the first 2 episodes of Better Call Saul. And Lachlan, you really have to catch up with Better Call Saul. There's an argument to be made that it's just as good as Breaking Bad. I'm gonna say that it's really good. And that's all I've been watching.
Call me out here for not seeing Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And probably Breaking Bad, but
wait, you have seen Breaking Bad, right? Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. Making me go over there. Take your 4-wheeler away until you watched it. Okay, well that's interesting. Well then I guess you don't have that much of an attachment. I didn't know that. That's so surprising. I thought you had seen Breaking Bad. But yeah, Better Call Saul is amazing. It's worth the hype, and going to be watching it weekly from now on. So I didn't mention it before, but new episodes drop every Monday, or on Netflix they're out on Tuesday. But yeah, that wraps it up for what we've been watching, and let's get to the bloody fest of X.
Farmer's daughter, take one. I need to be famous, Wayne. All the best people are.
There ain't nobody else out there like you.
You know why?
Why?
Because you got that X Factor.
In 1979, a group of young filmmakers set out to make an adult film in a secluded farmhouse in rural Texas. Their reclusive elderly hosts take a special interest in their young guests, and as night falls in, the couple's leering interest takes a violent turn. That is X from director Ty West, an A24 film, A24 horror film, and comes in on Letterboxd at a 3.6, on IMDb a 6.9, and on Metacritic a 79. So, Lachlan, what did you make of X?
it was very, very good.
Right.
You know what I miss? Ewan?
What do you miss, Lachlan?
You know what I miss really bad? I miss fun horror films.
Yeah.
The cheesy ones.
Mhm.
You know, the real, wow, this looks really shit. But I love it.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what this movie does?
What does it do?
Oh yeah, it goes back to horror's roots, man.
Right.
It looks at the 80s horror films and goes, yeah, that was its peak. I want to make a movie like that. There's no one making a horror movie like this these days.
No.
If this was made by literally like anybody else who didn't have the same vision,
Mhm.
dude, it would have been like they have some paranormal, demonic, psychological fucking thing. In this one, it's just like, nah. Well, I won't spoil that, but like, they're just gonna murder you.
Yeah. It's
There's nothing else. I mean, there is, but it's like there's nothing else really.
yeah.
That's makes you go, oh, it's psychological or it's that. It's a proper, like, this could take place in real life horror movie.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I think what works so well, you said the 80s. I think you could even go back like 2 or 4 years back into the 70s as well with
70s.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, that's like probably the biggest inspiration
Exactly.
of this movie, I reckon.
For sure. And I feel like what you just kind of touched on, and we won't go into the motivation of the killers just yet before we do spoilers, but it's just like a human one. It's something that like Leatherface has as well in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a pretty simple drive, you know? And it's not just a murderous killer like it is in Halloween or Freddy, where like he's just pure evil. But these are, like you said, it's very grounded in just this could happen in real life. And that makes it so much more terrifying. And I loved it. I think there's also a discussion that maybe we don't want to get into,
good, right?
about the modern slasher, and kind of the, I would say, the term that I really hate, and I think you probably do as well, is the term of elevated horror, because it's kind of lessering everything else that is made in that genre. It's like, we have a cheaper budget, we have a bigger margin because like it doesn't cost much to do a horror film, and a lot of people go see it still, and that's not elevated horror as like something that A24 usually does with Hereditary and Midsommar, which would be elevated horror. But no, I think it's kind of spits it back into your face with this like A24 film, which is just a good, fun slasher,
Let's have a quick chat about A24.
Right, let's have a quick chat about A24, yeah. I forgot to tell you.
What do you think?
I do have a complete list of all my A24 films ranked. But we'll get to that maybe at the end of today's show. We'll have a quick look at that.
What's your opinion on A24?
Well, I think they are able to create possibilities for aspiring directors who have a great vision to execute the vision. I think that's what they are really good at, giving the right people the tools to get their craft out there. But I don't know what you were leading to with that question. Per se.
I think some of my favorite movies of the past 5 years have all been A24 films.
Yeah, for me as well, yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just going to go through a couple of their movies, right? Just a couple of them. And I want you to tell me whether you liked it or you didn't like it. Okay, ready? Let's start with probably one of their biggest hits, Hereditary.
I wasn't big on it when it first came out. Well, when I first watched it. But I love it now. I think it's amazing.
Cool. 8th grade.
Loved it. Bo Burnham. Go get it. It's going to be the same thing for all of them. Mainly.
Mid-90s?
Yeah. A fun film. But you can see that it's like a first-time directing thing.
Under the Silver Lake.
Ooh, such an underrated film that I've only seen once. But yeah. Great. Also good. Let's keep it short.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna run through like a couple more. Do you ever see High Life?
I have. Yeah. It's one of the ones that rank a bit lower for me, but it's still like a 3.5 out of 5. Because like it doesn't go that low.
Right. Last Black Man in San Francisco.
I love that film. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Midsummer.
Amazing. Right on the same level as Last Black Man.
All right. And I'm not even going to start cutting some of these out because these next ones are just massively big hits. The Farewell.
Yeah. Great.
I haven't seen this, but The Death of Dick Long.
I also haven't seen it, but I've heard great.
That's a Daniels
yeah.
production as well.
Maybe we checked that one out before. Love The Lighthouse.
Yeah. Waves.
Yeah. So many people were split on it.
Uncut Gems.
My favorite A24 film of all time.
First Cow.
Yeah, Kelly Reichardt. Looking forward to a new film at Gunn. Also really good.
Minari.
Hey, I think it might be in my top 5 of A24.
Here's a flop. False Positives.
Yeah, no, that one sucked. That one really wasn't good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Ready for this one? These are some of the best ones. Ready? Okay, here we go. the Val Kilmer documentary, The Green Knight. All right.
Yeah.
We've now got The Humans, Come On, Tragedy of Macbeth, and in terms of my most recent loved movies, right? Some of the biggest ones I've given the best ranks to so far: After Yang, X, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't know what the fuck A24 does to just pump out some of these movies, but they are doing a fantastic job.
Oh yeah.
And in my opinion, are single-handedly saving cinema.
Wow, that's big praise. I can't disagree. I think they are what original cinema is kind of dead. That's not kind of dead. It's dead, and they are reviving it. For sure.
Cinema is dead. There's no such thing as
Headline.
cinema anymore.
Yeah.
It's MCU, the occasional blockbuster, and A24.
They're also sticking to the cinema model. So they're definitely keeping like cinemas literally alive with their original films, you know. I think what's up there for me as well is Moonlight, Good Time, and The Lobster. But
yes, those are great ones as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, man, but like, funnily enough, Tanika and I have a little thing where I'll be like, "Hey, do you want to see a movie?" And she can just immediately just assume that it was A24. Like when we went and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once yesterday, she like the A24 logo came up and she just started like laughing.
Yeah.
She was chuckling. She was like sitting next to me. She was just like, "Pfft," and I was like, I just turned to her and she just knew and I knew, and I was like, that's the joke.
We modern
like,
cinephiles
we see
are
these movies and
simply
they're great.
pleased by that logo. We just know it's good shit.
But like,
yeah,
it's crazy to see that some of the biggest films that we have is coming from this one company. Like some of the most incredible stories and just also very fun. It's not like they're stuck to one kind of particular thing, right? If I could guess, like if I looked at a couple movies, I can kind of tell that they're made by a certain production company.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is with Warner Brothers, but I always have this weird feeling that I know it's Warner Brothers. Okay?
Yeah.
Even if I like didn't see the Warner Brothers, like I just thought, okay, no, this is definitely a Warner Brothers movie. And then Marvel's got their own thing on it as well.
Yeah, I mean Disney overall
these, like,
has
films,
a really distinct look that you can
Disney
see.
is very strict
It's
on
very
what it wants,
polished,
which is
and,
going to be
like,
interesting to see what happens when
glossy.
Avatar comes out.
Right, yeah. If there's like a distinct change of like different
Sorry, I
vision,
mean,
like,
not Avatar. Avatar's the second one.
Avatar with a Z, like with
Avatars
ants.
with a Z.
Right, okay.
With ants.
Right.
But no, I think A24 is doing a fucking spectacular job with everything, because it's not like it's one type of film. They're giving a voice to certain filmmakers that probably wouldn't get a voice with the big guys. Like, you know, Warner Brothers isn't going to give, you know, another couple 100 million to the Daniels. They're going to give it to fucking Chris Nolan or Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
which would probably make him back the money anyway, but
we'll talk about, I guess, Everything Everywhere All at Once a bit more extensively when we actually do the review for it. But it's also, I think they have like a budget of 25 million for that movie overall, which is crazy that they do all of that stuff.
Tell you for a fact, if their budget was $25 million,
all on screen, right? It's all on screen.
There's not a single dollar not well spent.
Yeah. That is amazing. It's amazing to see that type of stuff. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Let's get back to X. Maybe more specifically, to the cast and the performances. We get Mia Goth, I think is her name, right? Yeah, as the titular character. And what I didn't notice before I rewatched and kind of glanced at the IMDb, that she plays Maxine and Pearl. She also plays the old lady. I didn't notice that. I don't know if you saw that with the makeup.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I did, but I didn't realize that it was. I thought it wasn't her by the end.
Yeah. Well, because they're like in I guess they're both, you know.
They're in a lot of the scenes together.
Yeah, they
and I was
share
like, well, I
scenes.
didn't think they'd want to keep doing the CGI stuff, but well, not so much CGI, but okay.
It's a lot of, like, and going in knowing it, I kind of saw how they did the framing at times, and I mean, it's simple stuff if you know, if they're not like, you know, that close together at all times. But yeah, definitely interesting to have her in there, and I think everyone in here is is working, and I think that Kid Cudi is interesting that he's branching out to do more acting stuff. It's also his first film where he's executive producing. And I think he already has a new movie coming up where he's also starring and producing again. So interesting to see him branch out, kind of going the Childish Gambino type of route, where he's like branching out into all types of arts, and he works well in this film. I think he's great in it. And then we got Jenny Ortega, which I think she's had quite a good year already. She was in Scream, she was in the Fallout, and is establishing herself as kind of, a modern type of horror
Scream
gal.
queen.
Yeah, Scream queen, right? Exactly. She does have a scream in the film as well, which she just kills.
Yeah.
She does so great. And then we got Brittany Snow, which probably most people know her from Pitch Perfect. Yeah, Pitch Perfect. That's what those movies are called. That somehow when I said Pitch Perfect, I pictured the YouTube channel Dude Perfect, but they're all singing, synchronized and throwing a basketball into a hoop, which is a weird thing to have imagined right now. But I don't know. Anyways, that's where she's from.
Oh, crazy thing about Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
I always thought she played a great Wednesday Addams, and she literally is playing Wednesday Addams in a new live action
Really?
TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
I said that. I was like, she looks so much like Wednesday Addams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
Only
been
because I
doing
had a
lot.
massive thing for Wednesday Addams growing up.
All right.
When I was like younger, I was like, yeah, Wednesday Addams.
Yeah, and she's been at it. She's been in a lot of stuff, and a really promising career. I think she's also quite an interesting character we get in this. And maybe what else can we talk about before we get into the spoilers?
And she's technically in the MCU as well. In
Wait.
Iron Man 3, she plays the vice president's daughter.
Really? What? That's such a deep cut. What the hell? You were just.
I
on
just
that
went on.
That is.
I feel like a new thing for me is going to be just trying to see how I can connect every actor and actress to the MCU.
You are preparing for us to do.
Wait, can I connect Kid Cudi? Hang on, Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi to the MCU. That'd be crazy.
I don't think he can. Nah, he's not in the MCU yet. Unless he was a wait. Oh fuck! I thought maybe a composer. Maybe he like wrote a song or something. Oh wait, soundtrack. He's in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
He's doing a lot. There's also a featured song that's with Kid Cudi and Brittany Snow, that they just perform midway through the movie, and somehow it wasn't as distracting as I thought it would be. But it was also still.
I've done it.
How did you connect
He
the
had
two?
a song in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and now that all the Spider-Verse movies are together, that's part of the MCU. There you go. Kid Cudi is in the MCU.
I guess his music is, at least, yeah. Okay.
Well, he's connected.
You got a new thing, Lachlan. That's great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, something that interests you probably a lot is the visual approach to the film and the look of it all. So, what did you think
sorry. Are we still talking about X? I'm talking about Kid Cudi joining the MCU.
We could talk about Kid Cudi.
Sorry.
When's Man on the Moon 4 coming out, man?
The visual stuff in this film is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just such a really well told story.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it's obviously shot on film, right?
Or it would surprise me if it's not, but I didn't check.
Neither have I. Oh my god! I mean, we
a
are
live
as professionals
scoop.
here.
It's a live scoop we're doing right
checked. It was
Who's faster?
a
I hate the new
35mm.
Okay. I hate the new
35mm. Well, I'm just faster at the internet than you, so I have faster internet than you.
Well, you are already a couple hours ahead, so that's unfair.
Yeah, good point. I think that every part of this just fucking nails it on the head. The look of all of it, the characters, the location, the I loved the intercutting of the actual porno itself.
Oh,
that was so much fun as a telling of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So every part of the cinematography was just spot on for me. It was just an enjoyable experience.
Yeah, you bring something up with the editing, which was super interesting. They had like a couple scenes where we were kind of going over into the next one, but it kind of flashed back to the one thing, and it had like maybe like 3 frames where it came back, going back and forth. I thought it was like a super interesting stylistic and artistic choice, and brings me to a point that I wanted to make. I think what a good slasher does, what a good modern slasher does, is it has the simple pleasures of having a thrilling slasher movie with kills and stuff like that, right? Simple enough. Do that right. Do that with the cinematography and everything. Secondly, have themes underlying that don't take up the whole story and like some moral endpoint to arrive at, but they're more just backdrops to the overall story. The themes of
Hey, we're doing spoilers, right?
we can ease into with what I'm doing right now into spoilers, yeah. With a decaying body, with sex, with religion, that type of stuff, like emancipation as well, expressing yourself, with Jenny Ortega's character specifically, right? And with that, let's actually cross into spoilers so we can talk about it more specifically. I just thought it was done so well. All of the characters.
Your grandparents can be horny.
Grandparents can be horny, and it is awkward.
Exactly.
But if you don't make out with,
it's awkward, it's uncomfortable.
With a grandma, she'll likely stab you to death. So maybe just go along with it. They're horny as well. Wait, Lachlan, do you have any spoiler thoughts you wanted to get out real quick at the start of this?
Yeah, horny grandparents.
Horny grandparents.
I thought the horniness was quite funny.
It was kind of funny, right?
Look, my spoiler thoughts have kind of the same as my non-spoiler thoughts, except instead of me being like, it looks pretty, and yada yada yada. Now that we can talk about the fact that she was just horny, right? And then that makes her twist. That's what made it scary.
Yeah,
I was like, she just got denied, and she just stabbed him, and I was like, that's fucking terrifying.
That is terrifying.
At one point, I was like, she could 1v1 Jason. She could 1v1 Michael Myers and go toe to toe with him. Then I realized probably not, because she has no ability to be strong. She just took advantage of this poor boy. But I mean, she could again try to take advantage of Michael Myers or Jason and trick him and then stab him. So I kept coming back.
Yeah,
and it's the same with the husband, because he was badass. Was it Jackson that he killed? That was his name.
Yeah, Jackson.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of jealousy.
I'd love to see. Just out of jealousy.
Yeah.
Right? Just bang, straight to the chest. Fuck yeah, dude. There's no, and I was waiting for the twist the entire time, where it was going to be, they've got some, because obviously they had that, the opening, right? It gets you in straight away. It shows you the crime scene. You're like, fuck yeah, right? And then it goes back to 24 hours later, I think it is.
Yeah.
And you're watching, and you're like, fuck, where's this leading to? And obviously you've got that hint of what's happening underneath. And that's when you have obviously that shot of that naked dude. And I thought, there's got to be more than that, right? I was waiting for some kind of pentagram or some kind of Satanist kind of thing where they pray to Satan, they get this extra power, yada yada. They're really super super duper old, but they harvest on the young. And that gives them a bit of age, and I was like, "That's going to be the twist, right? They feed on the young, and it makes them young."
That's
again.
Morbius.
That's why, because when I noticed, because I noticed it straight away, because you notice when someone looks super young. There's certain features. Tanika kind of pointed out as well with the not sagging of the cheeks; they were kind of too firm on her face, and we were like, "Nah, she's wearing makeup." And then over time, I was kind of like, "Maybe she's not, maybe she is," but now you confirm that she is at the start. I was thinking her makeup is gonna become less. She's gonna become younger and younger.
Yeah.
Very similar to the character in, I don't know if you saw it, but did you ever watch the
Benjamin
Midnight
Button?
Mass on Netflix?
No, I didn't finish
Or Benjamin Button,
No,
yeah.
it's just
There's a
kidding.
character in Midnight Mass who gets younger.
Yeah.
Right? And they do the same thing. It's a young actress. She's got makeup on, makes her look old, but you can just tell. You can just tell in the eyes. You can tell in the eyes. That she's young, and it's the same here. And I was just waiting, but it never happens, and I fucking love that.
Yeah, it puts those ideas into your head. That's like, okay, what is this actually about? Especially starting out with the preaching from the guy on the TV, the Christian guy, and it turns out to be just an offhanded thing for, I guess, at the end, Maxine, that she's the daughter of this guy. But I don't know what that means.
Crazy.
It doesn't really mean anything for the story. It's just a thing that is in this universe. And it's cool because I like the way that they did these cheesy callbacks. I think they did it a total of 3 times, at least as far as I can remember, with like someone saying something and then another person saying it back to them with a different meaning. But I guess there, like, she was doing it while he was saying it on the TV. I think it was something like, "I will not accept a life I do not deserve," which was what she says. And I think it's also one where Jenny Ortega's character says back to her boyfriend RJ, "When did you get such a prude?" Is what she says when she's about to do porn, or like this artistically adult movie. There were like smart callbacks that made sense in the characters, and also kind of felt like this is a bit of cheesy writing, doing these callbacks like a bunch of times, but it just kind of works. And yeah, I think it's just really confident in what it is, and it nails it. I was wondering, Lachlan, do you have a favorite kill overall?
I really enjoyed the head splatter right at the end.
The head splatter
That was
was
just
crazy.
gory.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even say it's a kill, because the moment that I cringed the most was when her hand she like breaks down the door, has a "Here Johnny" moment, reaches through, and then the hand gets smashed.
Mhm.
Oh man, I felt that. I just felt my hand just like loosen up and just that was pretty. Cause like I don't think there was a kill that made me. Actually, I had a lot of fun with the dude looking through the hole and then getting a fucking pickaxe to the face. That was sick.
The eye glory.
But all
hole
of them
stab.
were really fun because like I pretty much remember all of them: shotgun to the chest, pickaxe, knife to the throat, kicked into the water, eaten by an alligator. No, that's the one.
Eaten by an
fucking
alligator was crazy.
Jeez, the fucking just whoomp. Oh man, that's the one that I definitely felt the most impact my body.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I enjoyed all of them. Even when she got like the old lady got shot back by the shotgun herself, I thought that was basically crazy. Yeah, I remember all of the kills for some reason.
Yeah, it's a very memorable set of kills where like sometimes in slashes you get that like off-screen kill or whatever that's less impactful, and you really have to highlight. Like I think back to the kill of in the first Halloween, like putting him up on the wall, such an iconic kill, or like the door swinging one in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But here the alligator thing was so over the top. I think what also kind of sold it and made it even better is because we knew it was coming, having that tease from the top down shot of her like swimming.
That was anxiety driven.
It's so great. And then the way it ends with like her getting up, door opening, action. Like you don't usually get like that good of editing in any type of movie, let alone in a horror film. So I was like, oof, give me more of those like a match cut, audio match cut type of transitions to scenes. It's so well done. If I had to pick one, I think that the subversion of maybe your expectation with Jenny Ortega's character, when she just runs out and gets shot and she's gone. You know, she's locked up. You might have the expectation she's making it out of here. She was maybe the virgin type of like stereotypical character that now I guess kind of dies because she has sex, but it puts that on its head because it's like, no, we are grounded in the real world with people who do like a dirty film. They do an X-rated film, and it's not about like the rules of horror that much, although it references a lot of the things that like come before, because like especially RJ's kill is reminiscent of Psycho, the way that the killer is shot while she stabs him, right? But it just kind of throws you a bit for a loop because like how quickly then that character is just like gone. And I do think that there were a couple jump scares, audio jump scares mainly, that were just in there to have them in there. And I get why he put them in there. I just wasn't a fan of it. Like the most prominent one that I'm thinking back to is when Maxine, after having that creepy encounter with Pearl, her like touching her, and she's running back, and then Wayne is just standing there. She's running basically into his arms, but it's like this big, like loud moment where he just grabs her, and it's like she didn't see him while she was running directly at him. It was just a bit silly. And there's a couple of those moments whenever they do a jump cut, it's really silly. And I don't know if it was intentional or I don't know what it was, but that was probably the thing that I enjoyed the least about the film, if I had to be critical about it. I think my favorite shot is also the the alligator thing, like the tension of that scene kind of building, and
That was fun.
it looked fun because like that animatronic, I assume it didn't look like digital. It looked like they actually had something. I don't know. I gotta check out the behind the scenes of like that thing coming. It's so well done. Yeah, I think something that's I could have mentioned this in the non-spoiler segment, but I think just the title itself is also something interesting, you know, with the rating system. But I it might be a bit too nerdy, so I won't get into it too much. But if you're interested, like the X rating and its history is actually quite interesting, like how that was used initially for like films that were supposed to not like go into any review and just you know, not be rated, and they could be X rated, but then kind of porn industry took that over and it became something else. So there's like a bunch of older films that like A Clockwork Orange or Midnight Cowboy who are technically X-rated movies, but maybe there's a different stigma to the film nowadays because we just associate X with porn. But yeah, this definitely deserves its rating as well. I think it doesn't hold back when it does the kill. Like that early scene where the cow is just like just ripped apart from the insides on the highway or on the street. I was like, okay, I guess they're setting us up for a bloody film. They really are showing us that even though it takes an hour to get into the first kill, that this is going to be a gory film and it's worth its R rating, I guess. But yeah.
Man, I got to work and I was just like, "Hey, do you like a horror movie?" They're like, "Do you like horror movie?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I go, "Yeah. Do you like anything from the 70s and 80s?" They're like, "Fuck yeah, I love those movies." Like, cool, you should watch this. I have been recommending this to like everyone because it's an easy watch and it's a fun watch, which is really hard to do. Which is another reason why I've been recommending Everything Everywhere All at Once as well, because it's a fun and an easy movie to watch, and everyone will love it. And I can have the same thing here. I think everyone will love this film if they like horror movies because it's just so much fun. You don't they don't make horror like this anymore, and that's what's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about them already doing a prequel that's coming out later this year? They shot it kind of back to back, and I think it's about to be done.
I had
already.
no idea.
Yeah. So this whole thing
idea.
was shot in New Zealand, and Mia Goth, I think it was like scheduling thing, like, oh, we're already here. We're doing a prequel with Pearl. Are we shooting it right now? And Ty West and I guess Mia Goth as Pearl. I assume it's not going to be Maxine in the first one as well. Or in this prequel as well. In a prequel. Kind of crazy. Because like, you know, it goes against the thing of A24 being so original, but like then when something so franchisable as slasher gets out, you know, you do the spin-offs and prequels straight away, which is interesting. But if it's anything like X, then I mean, I'm definitely down to go check it out. I don't know what they would call it though. You know, X. What do you call the movie before X? Do you just call it Y, or like what do you do?
W, obviously.
W, big W for A24.
Prequel.
Oh,
because W becomes before X. You said Y.
I said Y, which
That's
comes after. Oh yeah, I'm stupid.
But they'll do it like The Witch, where it'll be two V's, it'll be actual two U's, W.
Right, and the two V's then on the logo would just be like old decrepit boobies that hang down.
Jesus Christ. What if this is like we're calling it X, but really it's 10?
Oh, right, and it's set in 10 in 10. No, it's told in 10.
Makes no sense.
But no, what's the theme of 10? Why is it X and it means 10? Or it's just in a different font
maybe
of
it's
X.
just 10.
I don't know. I think you would have to call it in the style of like recent horror namings. You call it DX. You know?
Wouldn't this be a great idea? Can you imagine doing a whole bunch of movies with just different Roman numerals, and you bring them out randomly, right?
Yeah.
You do 10, 6, 1, 5, 9, and you bring them all out, and then you make the last movie, and you're like, go watch it in order, and people go watch it in order, and it's just it's a whole cool story. Wouldn't that be sick?
It would be funny if you bring it out like non-chronically. Yeah, I don't know. That crazy idea.
That's a lot of planning.
A lot of planning.
That's a crazy idea.
I mean, you gotta get James Cameron for it. He's already doing
My
it for
brain
Avatar.
just exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing like 7 movies in one, isn't he? Fucking maniac.
Yeah, we already kind of went over our favorite A24 films. Lachlan, if you also have a list by the time this episode comes out, I'll link that below as well.
I shouldn't I?
Yeah, I'll put mine on there as well. And yeah, go check out X. Go check out the smaller theaters. It's probably not playing in a big one near you. If it's out already, it's gonna have, I guess that's the downside for A24. We just been praising it, but what I hate about it is like that in certain countries they don't have a fixed distributor. So here in Switzerland we don't have one. So like some movies like The Green Knight, they get picked up by like a bigger distribution thing, and then we get it, no problem. But Everything Everywhere All at Once still has no distribution in Switzerland. So I gotta cross the border, go into a different country to go watch this film. Which is weird. That shouldn't be the case. So I think that's not on A24 though. That's not their issue to be solved, but it would be nice if the global distribution was a bit better for A24. But yeah, that's my only big gripe with that studio. Anyways, Lachlan, where did you arrive at as a rating for X?
I gave it a wonderful 4 out of 5.
I love that it's a wonderful 4. I would also give it a 4 out of 5. That doesn't have any adjectives before it. It's just a blank 4 out of 5. Ripped apart by its naked original feature. Just 4. Anyways, nice that we tie it back to the 4 and 4, tying it back to your car. All of it is connected. Everything
4x4.
all at once.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Which leads me to I guess what's coming up on the show. Next week we are taking a break, unless there's a surprising thing and you still find an episode there. No, we are taking another week off in spring. Well-deserved vacation for you, Lachlan. Go enjoy.
I'm taking my car for a drive.
That sounds fun. I wish I could join you, but you're a bit far down.
I'm going for a road trip.
But I guess if you would call in with a medical emergency, I would come. And knowing that
okay.
I could even get the car because as you said, right, you bought it in my name as well. I'm on the contract. Is that what you said? That wouldn't be an issue?
You're on everything.
Oh, that's great. Lovely to hear.
My legal name is Ewan Graf.
My legal name is not Ewan Graf. My legal name is, like, you remember my second personality, Ferdinand? He's on one of my papers.
Right. Yeah.
You're actually not getting the real me.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, back in 2 weeks, and we'll talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once. And yeah, looking forward to then. In the meantime, don't forget to drop those 5-star reviews over on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and follow us on all of our socials. We got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got YouTube. We got a YouTube Clips account that is a bit more active now, for like segments of the show as well. And yeah, that's it. Go check out all the socials linked below. There's a shit ton of them. We post on most of them as well. Ending as always. And yeah, that's it for this week's show. Yeah, talk to you soon. I don't know.